Hello everyone, how are you? Let me introduce myself. My name is Najwa Laila Farida. You can call me Najwa, Awa, Wawa, or anything else. I'm 18 years old. I come from Bandung and I live in east side of the city. I graduate from 25 senior high school in Bandung. My hobby is writing because I like to write many poems, stories, and anything. I express what I feel with I'm writing. Okay, friends, in here I want to tell about my family. Every people certainly have family because the existence of family among us is definitely important. My family consists of my mother, my elder sister, and one cat. My father died of COVID-19 in 2021, and then my mother's works in the home as private sector in employee. My mother's never stopped to support me. She always tell me to not give up so easily. She always give me some solution when I have come some problems. The importance of her is never denied. That is why I never reject her whiling. And then my elder sister. My elder sister also works as private sector employee in IT company. And last but not least, my adorable cat. His name is Oreo and his color are white and orange. He is very cute, but sometimes he's very shady. I love my family so much. And as you know, I'm currently majoring in Syariah Finance at Polytechnic Negeri Bandung. I knew that I want to go into accounting from day one, so I chose a university with a strong finance program. Because I believe that great accountant also have great communication skill. I decided to hone my language skill too, by minoring in English. My major has taught me the accounting fundamental, while my minor has taught me the soft skill necessary to be success. And as you know, my competition is as follow. When I'm able to solve problems quickly, I have a good head for figure. I'm resourceful when it comes to building teams, and I am capable of meeting competing deadlines. And last, I'm agile in my thinking, and that's my competition. And my ultimate goal is to become a head of financial department of some big company. I dream of running a big budget and having a huge impact on the success of an organization. Ideally one I like, one that works on something important in the world. Before it can happen, however, I have to understand the ins and outs of running the business. I have to see behind the numbers. Position of an accountant seems to me like a perfect choice, at least at this stage of my professional career. It's definitely the right step towards my ultimate goals. That's about myself, and next topic. Now I will explain my favorite things, which is the guitar. And because this guitar was a gift from my father when I had a birthday, so this is my favorite things in my life. The guitar is a string instrument which is played by plucking the string. The main parts of a guitar are the body, the fretboard, the headstock, and the strings. Guitars are usually made from wood or plastic. Their strings are made of steel or nylon. The guitar strings are plucked with the fingers and fingernail of the right hand or left hand for left-handed players, or a small pick made of thin plastic. This type of pick is called plectrum or guitar pick. The left hands hold the neck of the guitar while the fingers pluck the strings. Different finger positions on the fretboard make different notes. Guitar, like plucked strings instruments, have been used for many years. In many countries at many different time periods, guitar and other plucked strings instruments have been very popular because they are light to carry from place to place. They are easier to learn to play than many other instruments. Guitars are used for many types of music, from classical to rock. Most pieces of popular music that have been written since the 1950s are written with guitars. There are many different types of guitars, classified on how they are made and the type of music they are used for. All traditional types of guitar have a body which is hollow. This makes the sounds of the strings louder and gives the guitar its quality. This type of guitar is called acoustic. An acoustic instrument is one that makes its own dynamic. From the 1930s, people started making and playing guitars that using electricity and amplifiers to control the loudness. These guitars, which are often used in popular music, are called electric guitar. They do not need to have a hollow body. This is because they do not use acoustic to amplify the sounds. Most guitars have 6 strings, but there are also guitars with 4, 7, 8, 10, or 12 strings. More strings make the instrument sound fuller. The neck of a guitar has bars or marks called frets. Frets help a guitarist know where to put his or her fingers to get the right pitch when playing. Standard tuning defines the strings pitches as A, D, G, B, and A, from lowest low A2 and to highest high A4. Standard tuning is used by most guitarists and frequently used tunings can be understood as variations on standard tuning. Everybody knows some type of guitar. The guitar has own place in traditional art creations, and it has also become popular in many favorite genres, from country to blues to rock music at various levels. Of course, it is always used a different style of playing the guitar in every genre, and every often the guitar is also different in construction and designs. And then there are a guitar terminology from what parts consist the guitar. 1. Headstock. 2. Nut. 3. Tuning peg or machine heads. 4. Fret. 5. Neck. 6. Heel. 7. The body. 8. Bridge. 9. Back or board. 10. Top soundboard. 11. Ribs or body sides. 12. Sound hole. 13. Strings. 14. Saddle. And the last 15. Fingerboards. Okay, now I want to tell you about the books that I like that were created by J.K. Rowling, and the publisher is Bloomsbury in the United Kingdom and Scholastic Press in the United States. The book's called Harry Potter. And now I will explain a famous figure in England. Her name is J.K. Rowling. Okay, J.K. Rowling is a British novelist who writes the phenomenal fantastic book series of Harry Potter. The books have got worldwide attentions. They have become the best-selling book series in history. The books were sold more than 400 million copies. So, about profile, Joanna Rowling was born on 31st July 1965 at Yate, Gloucester in England. So she is 57 years old by 2022. About her physical appearance, her height is 165 centimeters and weight 54 kilograms. She has blonde hair and blue eyes. She has married 2 times and now she has got 3 children. J.K. Rowling is a terrific and successful novelist that becomes the richest young woman in England. In fact, once she had become unemployed with a destitute life by writing Harry Potter books which are loaded with spectacular magic and high imaginations, she turns to be very famous and wealthy. And the things I like about J.K. Rowling is a lot of motivations that we can follow from him.
I came from a place where I was a single mother, and it really was hand to mouth at one point. It was as literally as poor as you can get in Britain without being homeless at one point. If you've ever been there, you will never, ever take for granted that you don't need to worry. Never. I had a very, very tiny baby, and then I walked straight into poverty and depression. Clinical depression is a terrible place to be because it's not sadness. Sadness is not a bad thing, you know, to cry and to feel, but it's that cold absence of feeling. It's even the absence of hope that you can feel better. That really hollowed out feeling, that's what the dementors are.
Poverty entails fear and stress and sometimes depression. It means 1,000 petty humiliations and hardships. Climbing out of poverty by your own efforts, that is something on which to pride yourself. But poverty itself is romanticized only by fools. What I feared most for myself at your age was not poverty, but failure. Ultimately, we all have to decide for ourselves what constitutes failure. But the world is quite eager to give you a set of criteria if you let it. So I think it fair to say that by any conventional measure, a mere 7 years after my graduation day, I had failed on an epic scale. An exceptionally short-lived marriage had imploded, and I was jobless, a lone parent, and as poor as it is possible to be in modern Britain without being homeless. The fears that my parents had had for me and that I had had for myself had both come to pass. And by every usual standard, I was the biggest failure I knew. I had no idea then how far the tunnel extended, and for a long time, any light at the end of it was a hope rather than a reality. So why do I talk about the benefits of failure? Simply because failure meant a stripping away of the inessential. I stopped pretending to myself that I was anything other than what I was, and began to direct all my energy into finishing the only work that mattered to me. Had I really succeeded at anything else, I might never have found the determination to succeed in the one arena where I believed I truly belonged. I was set free because my greatest fear had been realized, and I was still alive, and I still had a daughter whom I adored, and I had an old typewriter and a big idea. And so rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life. You might never fail on the scale I did, but some failure in life is inevitable. It is impossible to live without failing at something, unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all, in which case you fail by default. So given a time turner, I would tell my 21-year-old self that personal happiness lies in knowing that life is not a checklist of acquisition or achievement. Your qualifications, your CV, are not your life, though you will meet many people of my age and older who confuse the two. Life is difficult and complicated and beyond anyone's total control, and the humility to know that will enable you to survive its vicissitudes. Unlike any other creature on this planet, human beings can learn and understand without having experienced. They can think themselves into other people's places. Written by the Greek author Plutarch. What we achieve inwardly will change outer reality. That is an astonishing statement, and yet proven 1,000 times every day of our lives. It expresses in part our inescapable connection with the outside world, the fact that we touch other people's lives simply by existing. But how much more are you likely to touch other people's lives? We do not need magic to transform our world. We carry all the power we need inside ourselves already. We have the power to imagine better.
In the first Harry Potter book, Dumbledore says to Harry, the happiest man alive would look in the mirror and see himself exactly as he is. So I would have to say that I'm pretty close.
As is a tale, so is life. Not how long it is, but how good it is what matters. I wish you all very good lives.
So, what the problems and minuses does J.K. Rowling face? Starting from messy marriage, unemployment, and suffering from clinical depressions, all these problems made J.K. Rowling contemplated suicide, and J.K. Rowling depressions actually became the inspiration for a dark character named Dementor. I think I'm so interesting about her, and I think J.K. Rowling did one thing exceptionally well. She had really interesting whimsical ideas based on everyday mundane life, and she can write these ideas out in a very visually exciting fashion. These little sparkles of crazy fun ideas can almost make you forget about the other glaring problems of the books. A lot of people, myself included, are attracted or mesmerized by these whimsical sparkles of imaginations. It is a fascinating magical world that's so imaginative and yet at the same time mirror our own. And in my opinion, she is very amazing. She can be a success person even she has a lot of problems. She can face the challenge in her life. Behind her minus things in her life, there are still many positive things that makes me attracted to her because in making a novel, her imagery and attentions to detail in the books is fantastic. Yet description of character, object, rooms, and anything else are not too long. Her ability to fabricate a whole universe is mind-blowing and her characters are effortlessly funny. Typical good nature and the friendship in the novel are iconic. So I love J.K. Rowling so much and created Harry Potter. And last, I will explain my hometown, Bandung. Bandung, 150 kilometers southeast of Jakarta, is the capital of West Java and the fourth most popular city in Indonesia. Although it has a population of over 2.5 million people, its pace is much slower than that of Jakarta. Situated at an elevation of 770 meters or 2,500 feet, so the climate is relatively cool. It is regarded as the focal point of Sundanese culture and centers of the Sundanese ethnic group, but also home to combined examples of Dutch colonial and Art Deco architecture. At one time, it was called the Paris of Java, but it's hard to believe that now, as many parts of it are like other congested Indonesian cities. Northern section of the city are the most hilly. The historic First ASEAN-African Conference was convened here in the Gedung Merdeka in Bandung from April 18 to 24, 1955, recognized as milestone in world history for recognizing both the problems and power of the developing world. It was organized and hosted by Indonesian President Nkrumah Soekarno. Soekarno is considered the father of the non-aligned movement of third world nations whose initial aim was to find a non-aligned middle ground between the capitalist United States and the communist Soviet Union. Bandung is a famous factory outlet, especially for clothes, as the city has long been a textile center and cheap prices. Large number of factory outlets are scattered along Dago, IRH Juanda, Riau, RE Marta Dinata, Cihamplas, and Setiabudi. Here you can get name brand stuff and non-name brand stuff. The selection of jeans is particularly good. If branded fashions and exclusive factory outlets are not for you, then Bandung still has something up its shopping sleeves. Located just a short walk from Bandung's central train stations, Pasar Baru Trade Centers offers Bandung's finest product and bargaining is a part of the shopping process. There are many restaurants and street stalls and vendors in Bandung, as there are many places in Indonesia. Sundanese food tends to be bland yet tasty unless you add sambal dadak or chili and other ingredients grinded together. Popular dishes include nasi timbel, lalapan or vegetable, sambal dadak, a piece of chicken like fried or roasted Sundanese style, fried tofu, fried tempe, and a slice of jambal or salted fish. Other tasty dishes and hand food include gepuk or slice of beef mixed in traditional herbs then fried. And there's a pepes, a fish chicken of mushroom mixed with crust and blended herbs folded into a banana leaf then steamed, and salted greens. And there is batagor baso tahu goreng, our fried meatballs and tofu is one of the most sought after specialties. It is sometimes made with fish and served with a special peanut sauce. Okay, so that's the end of my video. Thank you very much for your attention and see you next time. Bye bye.